What's up, America? What's up, America? It's Todd and Ashlie. Once again, we are out.
Okay, listen, we're very tardy to the party. We understand that it has been a while, but we
were grieving.
We needed time to process our
I'm still
elimination.
processing it. I will never get over it.
We're still not okay.
Yes.
Okay?
Yes.
Listen, it was hard for us. So we needed to take an extra step, extra time to process and really allow ourselves to heal.
Listen,
we needed to heal, right?
Listen, I was so disappointed. We all were, right?
You were.
I
know you guys were.
You guys love us.
You loved us.
And thank you for your support. And everyone that watches this, thank you. Honestly, thank you guys for supporting us. Thank you guys for watching us. But this is the end of the road.
Listen,
although we go to the end of the road, still I can't let go. It's so true. We feel very blessed and honored that you guys watch this. But at the same time,
we're pissed.
And if you're pissed, so are we.
So are we. Yeah.
And times your anger, right? Times $1 million worth. That's how angry we are. Right? And so
times anything you're feeling by $1 million.
Yeah.
That should tell you how we feel. All right.
And so we're very angry, we're very upset. But at the same time, we're very grateful. No, seriously, I'm very grateful, and seriously. I'm very grateful and very honored to be on the show. And
I'm having a bad hair day, so the beanie's
listen,
in.
Ashlie. So for those of you who don't know, Ashley's got style. She's I see you later, boy. I see you later, boy.
No, you know what my ideal style is? Do you want to know? You want to know what my perfect style would be? Is watch Home Alone, tune in, and look at Joe Pesci's style and that's me.
She's Joe Pesci. I'm Harry. By the way, this is the greatest scene in all of cinema. When Harry gets electrocuted in Home Alone 2, best scene ever, by the way.
We opened the clue. We're going to Sweden.
Sweden.
We opened the clue.
Yes, Stockholm, Sweden, baby. I've never been there. I never knew it.
I didn't even know that exists. I never heard of Sweden.
What is Sweden?
I never heard of Sweden before.
And you know what?
We're not getting through this.
I'm not getting through this.
This is going to be a rough one.
Let's recap episode 10.
Let's just do this thing.
All right. So we left Slovenia. We came in almost so far behind.
But last.
Probably 2 hours behind everybody else. But good news, people.
We're still in it.
We're still in it. And the flight. That's it, baby. The equalizer. So we got equalized by the flight. We're all on the same flight. Thank goodness. We're on the same flight going over to Sweden.
So this is what was so great. And when we got to the airport, we all checked in at the same time, and we kind of just all did our own thing. And every time we went to the airport, this was always our strategy, was to research as much as possible about our next destination and get directions.
We found a friendly man on his computer.
He looked a little peeved though. After rewatching, I was like, he was not about this business. He just looked, I guess.
Well, after I was like, yeah, oh my gosh. I was like a little schoolgirl. Oh my gosh. Standing O.
In his ear.
Right, yeah. I was oh my gosh.
He was probably dude, I have work tomorrow.
Step off.
Can you stop?
Yeah, he's on a business trip. We're all, this is the amazing race. He's bro, I got
real life
bills
issues right now.
I got bills, bro. I'm oh my gosh, this is so fun. Skydiving. But skydiving. Let's free. Free falling.
So let's talk about this moment. So when we Googled it, the guy looked it up, writing down the information, and it's
there's a skydiving camp
Immediately.
It wasn't just like a airfield. It was a skydiving camp.
This was nothing like the glider airfield, and it had a completely different vibe.
Like the gliding airfield was like, hey, make it to this airfield, right?
This was
so many different options.
This was prepare for your death.
Yeah, skydiving camp.
Yeah.
And I'm like so excited, but at the same time, I'm wondering about this one.
Very terrifying.
Yeah.
So like, as soon as we see it, I'm like, holy cow, what does this mean? Does this mean like one of us has to skydive?
Holy Shiza Manelli.
And I'm thinking like, because I had to do the glider, in my mind, I'm like, oh, that automatically, if this is a roadblock, then if I have to do it, it's going to be me based off of the glider incident. So the entire time, like from that moment on, I feel like I blacked out. Like
so those of you who don't know,
mattered.
the like when we ripped the clue, bird's eye view of Stockholm, Sweden,
or something like that.
Yeah, so it's like bird's eye view. What does that mean? Huh? We make our way and it's equalizer, so thank God, right? Like we're on the same flight. It's good for us, right? We're 2 hours behind, but we catch up.
This is
right.
for sure what we needed in order to like make this an even playing field and at least give us a chance in, figuring out like, okay, gosh, this is getting down. We're top 5. Like these are like the most top 5, like biggest, strongest, hardcore competitors of the race so far. And so it's like top 5, like there's no time for error. There's no time for messing around. And so we really needed to like hone it in. And I think when we were at the airport, there was one point where I told Todd, I was like, because I've seen the race so many times, I'm like, this is going to be a pull a number situation. Like it is imperative.
She knew it before before we even reached it.
100%.
She knew it was going to be a pull a number.
So I told Todd, I was like, it is imperative that we get there at least 1 and 2
to the camp, right?
To the camp, like we need to pull at least 1 and 2 for us to even have a chance. And so that was always in the back of my mind.
Right. So we researched it, realized it's a skydiving camp. We're like, we got to get there first. And so we get off the plane and we race off the plane. And
can we talk about this whole like debacle? So our clue said that we had to take a specific taxi. So when Todd and I were the first out of the airport and we see this man
line of the same brand of taxis, the whole line of them.
So there's a man standing in front of his taxi that is the brand of taxi that we need.
The very first one.
And we're like, dude, here we go, like perfect.
And he's all, let's go,
we're the first
dude.
ones here, and we run to him and we're like, great, this is where we need to go. And he's like, I'm not part of your group. And I'm like, excuse me? What do you mean you're not part of our group? You're part of the taxi that we need. No, I'm not part of your group. You need to go this way. So that whole every second, especially top 5, every second counts. So like that whole transaction where we're like, wait, we're checking our clue, making sure. I don't know what this man was doing, just there to like
standing around looking at us, trying to throw us off.
So irritating. So he was like, I'm not part of your group. You need to go to another taxi. So by the time we get to the next available taxi, we are already like team 3 that are leaving. So we hop in the taxi and we had taken directions while we were at the airport and we knew that we needed to go to the E4.
I told the guy straight up, E4 North to this place. I showed it to him. I was like, here's where we need to go. E4 North, right?
Yeah.
He starts driving. Cool. I think we're going to E4 North. Hey, bro, we going to E4 North? Oh, yeah, no, we're going to the place. I'm like, bro, we need to go E4 North.
I even remember you looking at your compass because you were like, because we have a compass,
I had a compass on our watch.
And he was like, we are going south.
South. Why are we driving south when we need to go E4 North? He's like, oh, no. I'm like, are we going and I gave him the direct, like the address.
Yeah.
I'm like, are we going here? And he said, oh, yeah. Hold on. And he gets on his phone. Okay,
this is never a good sign. When your taxi cab gets on a phone, abort.
This is what makes me mad, okay? Sweden. We've been to India. We've been to Vietnam. We've been to all these places that might not have the technology. This guy had straight up.
He had a phone. He had a navigation system
in the center of his console. And so he was swearing up and down, I'm going the right way to the place.
Idiot.
And he's going the exact opposite, E4 south. And we're on the E4, but we're going south. And then so I had to jump in the front and plug it in. I had to like...
It was almost as if he was like blatantly ignoring you. And he was like, I got it. Listen.
I got it. Shut up. You don't know what
Sweden.
you're doing. Let me get on my phone. Talk to this guy about where I need to go.
So Todd was like, and Todd was so good at this. He did this in so many instances of the race.
They don't show it on the show, but...
Where he was like, F this, like, I'm just going to take control. He like reached over and like plugged it into his navigation. He said, give me your phone. And so we had it on the navigation system and on his phone.
I literally ripped the phone from him.
Yeah.
Plugged it in. I literally went into his navigation system, switched it to English, put in the address, went, and guess what? Oh, yeah, we get to make a U-turn and go the opposite way. So what ended up happening is we went 7 minutes in the wrong direction and then had to flip around and go 7 minutes in the right direction just to catch up to where we were. So we were automatically 15 minutes behind all the other teams.
Yeah, so it was a very big bummer.
So that right there is the reason why we lost the race, in my opinion. Well, two things. That and missing the express pass.
Just kind of looked at each other and were like, dude, this is going to suck. Like, it really all depends on who picks what number at this point.
Since that they finally shared something like near and dear to my heart. They talked about Garrett's family, his daughter with special needs. As a special needs teacher, as a special needs
ministry,
special needs ministry at our
with adults,
yeah. And so we both do that. And so we saw, like, we heard the story with Garrett. We always knew we got close to Garrett. And so that is like near and dear to my heart. Just want to say big ups to Garrett, big ups to your family. Love you guys. Now that we're out, hope you win it, right?
100%. We're rooting for you guys.
Let's go, baby. But just wanted to shout out to Garrett and his daughter and his family. All right, so moving on. When we get to the skydiving camp, so there's a certain point in time when me and you get there, and then Rob and Corey get there, and they pass by it, and we are running around that place for a good, I don't know, what did you say, 30 minutes? We were running down the street, up, around.
Well, mind you, we knew that like this was imperative that we get there first. So we knew that we lost time because our taxi cab went the wrong way. And as we're pulling into the skydiving place, we see two taxis going like this, bink. And our taxi cab was literally like, go ahead to the other cab. And we were like, what the heck are you?
Bro,
like, dude,
get it together, dude.
You're gonna
like we told him we're in a race.
This isn't a race, and you're gonna let the guy in front of you go. Like, what did we do to you, dude? Like, are you kidding me? So we were
worst taxi driver in the world.
heck
Lost
no,
it for us.
go. So as we pull in, we realize that it's Rob and Corey behind us, which was detrimental because we know as much as you do that they have an express pass. So as we pull in, we both just run out of the car and we're just running around this airfield with like chickens with our head cut off. Todd at one point was like literally running into like the locker rooms. We were in the kitchen. We were like looking in airplanes.
Where is it? Where is it? Is it here?
Get your ish together.
Me and Ashlie were running back and forth, and then Rob and Corey were running back and forth, and we're all running, and we kind of knew it was for 4th and 5th. But deep down in my brainsies, we knew that, like, okay, they got the express pass, which we should have freaking had, number one. Number two, we knew even if we got 4th, it's like it's a false 4, right? Like, they got the express pass. They could jump us anytime they want.
Now, I'm going to say this. I'm going to say this, and you can mark this down. We would still be in the race if any other team had pulled 5. 100%.
Any other team that did not have the express pass.
100%. We would make top 3. 100%. With Rob and Corey pulling 5, it was like, at that point, I was like, dude, this is going to be an uphill battle for us because they're going to jump us. They're going to jump us at some point. So let's talk about like this part of the race. So we flew into Sweden pretty late.
Cool.
And it's like what, like 8 or 9 already when we get there because the sun, which I didn't know.
Coolest experience.
The sun doesn't set there.
When it's 8 p.m., it looks like it's freaking 3 p.m. We go into this camp. They feed us Swedish meatballs, the most amazing Swedish meal.
Oh yeah, so we had to have like our dinner. So when we get there, they give us like our bunks, like, and we're like, dude, we're gonna spend the night here. We're gonna have a full 8 hours of sleep.
It's a skydiving camp. So
go to eat dinner, and then there's an entire process. Like we have to get weighed, we have to do an orientation.
Yeah, they weigh me, bro. I'm like, listen, I'm a little heavy on the race right now.
I'm like, you better not post my weight all up on this board to all of America.
What?
Do you know what I mean? How dare you? By the time we are completely done, and it's like, all right, guys, have a good night. Call time is this time. It was probably 1 o'clock in the morning when we were done, and they like let us go back to our cabin. Our call time was at 2:45 in the morning.
And let me tell you, these bunk beds, I couldn't even fit in them. My feet were hanging off. I was like, I didn't sleep 1 week.
Yeah.
1 week. I heard people snoring down the aisle. I'm like
Everyone
so jealous.
else slept pretty good.
I'm jealous. You slept good. You slept better than I did. I didn't sleep at all. Like, to be honest,
why
I didn't
though?
sleep.
Were you scared, or were you just like uncomfortable?
I couldn't sleep.
I understand that, but were you not sleeping because of the jump or because of the bed situation?
Both.
Okay.
Both. I was nervous. Because I always wanted to go skydiving. Always. I could never do it. So, like, what greater time to skydive than on national television when you can't really chicken out? If you do, you are you're a chicken. So this is the greatest part about the whole season is Ashlie overcame her fears. Those of you who don't know, when we auditioned, one of the things she's always said she's not willing to do is do heights and skydiving and bungee jumping, right?
Bungee jumping and skydiving were my two, I can't do it.
I have a little secret for her. The reason why is because her brother and her cousin would literally give her crap for the rest of her life. And so before we jumped, I'd be like, Garrett and Mark are going to freaking like roast you for the rest of your life. Number two, the reason why she jumped, $1 million. Everyone who has come up to me said, I can never do it. I can never do it. I'm like, you would have. You know why? Because there's $1 million in front of it. And the number 3, competitiveness. Her competitiveness supersedes her fear. Like that's what I've learned from this whole season. Her competitiveness is so great that it's like she wasn't gonna let everyone else jump while she didn't. Just want to say, I want to give you your flowers, right? Give you your flowers. Mwah. You did great.
Thank you.
Awesome. Overcame her fear. So amazing. Jiminy Crickets.
Jiminy Crickets. The tandem people were explaining the jump. And the worst part was when she was saying, like, listen, this is what you're going to do. You're going to hang your feet outside of the airplane. And when she said that, it was almost like my brain was like, couldn't comprehend what was happening.
I would never do that. Why are you talking about that?
Yeah, and so it was like, I was really trying to put on a front like, oh, this is fine. Like, I don't want people to know how scared I am. But I was terrified. She was talking to me and things weren't processing. But it really was like I didn't know what I was going to do at that moment.
Just so you know, Ashlie was still 50-50 when she got on that plane.
1,000,000%.
All right, so go into that.
So we get on the plane, everyone's loaded in there, and this is when we realize each team, like, there's a system that's going to end up happening. So the first 2 teams, they're going to be dropped first. Then the plane's going to do a 15-minute looper. So it was the first 4 teams, 15 minutes, Greg and John, 15 minutes, and then us and Robin
Todd,
Corey.
yeah.
I was sitting on the right side, which was closest to the door. I can see each team member like dropping out of the plane, which messed me up.
Finally, it's time to jump, right? And the first team to go is Joel and Garrett. When you're inside of a plane and you see someone drop out.
No, trauma.
Like for her, for sure. Like I knew it. But for me, I was like, holy crap.
And I was like, no.
That is serious.
I see each person going, and it's like they plop out of the plane.
And like, you expect them to like jump
float up.
Or float up.
It's weird. I don't know
they
what.
Just go,
yeah,
it's
you're
just like,
right. You're right. You expect them to like jump this way.
Yeah.
But they're like,
it's like anticlimactic. It's like,
it's
you
not.
see them.
Don't listen to him.
No.
It's so climatic.
No, it's anticlimactic.
It's so climatic.
You see them, and then you blink, and then they're gone.
No.
And you're like,
no, that's
what the hell happened?
So finally, it's our turn. Todd goes first. Todd's finally like, his guy goes, he gets to the edge. And I'm looking like this. I'm like, oh my God.
Let's be clear. I was scared too. Like, I was scared.
Well, you did. I will tell you, Todd talked nonstop the entire race. The only time he had nothing to say was in this plane ride. I swear he was just like stoic and quiet.
The first time in my life I was stoic.
That he had nothing to say. So I see Todd, and it's his turn, and he's just like, deuces. Like, he was like, I'm out.
Okay.
And he just falls.
So upset that they have none of me skydiving.
I don't think you did. Did you chicken out?
Shut up. like I am so upset. Like, I am so upset that they have no video footage of me skydiving. Oh my gosh.
This is how you would have looked skydiving if we had footage.
Do it. Look at
I can't do it.
I'm everybody except for Todd. I'm skydiving except for Todd. Like, it showed everyone except for me, people.
Also, listen, Todd's growing his hair out. Can we just talk about this curl right now? Look at how beautiful that is.
Say what? Like, can I say one thing?
Oh my gosh. We're never getting done. We're never getting done.
Listen, I am so proud of this woman.
Finally land. Todd and I land. And so now we're off running.
Interesting.
We're off running, and it's a foot race to the next
The
destination.
island of Tanigo.
So, okay.
The island of Tanigo.
Not to be confused with the island of Key Largo. Montego.
Come, I wanna take you to
Grenada, Bahama. As we're running to get to the boat.
Let's talk about the run from the skydive to the boat.
Yeah,
it was literally like a mile. So we get to the boat.
If you've ever been to the river, you understand there's a wake zone. So like we get out, and there's a good portion where you can't go over like 3 miles an hour. There was a giant cruise ship that you saw, and I think when it hit us, like, we had to drop our speed substantially because of the wake was just so bad. Like, it got our camera crew, like, all wet.
Yeah,
and we had to,
everyone
like,
got
stop
wet.
everything. Unfortunately, you're at the mercy of, like, the speed of the ocean
river,
or the bay or whatever
yeah.
we're in. There's just so many little things that, like, you couch crusaders don't like account for when you're watching the race versus racing, is like every little thing like you have no control over. We can't control the wake. We can't control the speed zone. We can't control if our camera crew needs to like tone it down and like fix your mic or like dry out their like their microphone or their camera that gets wet. Unplanned. Like, there's so many little things that like you at home don't see.
We get there to the Who Wants to Party, right?
Your girl wants to party.
She's a party animal, girl. We get there and we get there fourth. The wreath, the maypole, it was very reminiscent to
the lotus flowers.
The lotus flower. So
when you think about it, let's review all of the people who actually did the wreath. It was myself, Joel, Greg, and Annalie. Those three, myself, Joel, and Greg, we all did the lotus flower. Annalie did not. So I felt like she had an advantage because those players that did lotus, we spent a little more time.
PTSD,
kind
people.
of like we spent way too much time because we were probably tapping into the lotus like. Dude, there were so many checks.
They see the green. They saw the green and were like, oh crap.
Kind of like, and I think that's, when you look back at Greg and Joel, we were taking our time. We were like making sure it was perfect. Where was Annalie? She didn't do lotus. So she was just like, I'm going to throw crap out there and see what sticks. Okay. And it worked for her. So let's talk about this because
well played, Corey and Rob. Good job.
I'm going to disagree. I think you guys should have waited until the detour.
No,
but that's but that's my opinion. That's how I would have
well played.
Not well played.
Well played.
Not well played. By the time we got there to the maypole, Todd and I and Rob and Corey show up. We get there and Annalie, Greg, and Garrett are already halfway done with their project. I know editing. I know it's crazy. I know it's so crazy for all of you watching to think that like maybe they edited a little bit different than how it actually went. But they did edit it to make it seem like we all got there fairly close.
Right.
No.
Ashlie was about 15 minutes behind everyone else starting, and we left about 15 minutes behind everyone else. So the editing in the show doesn't really show the true story,
accuracy of how
right?
it was.
The true,
Yeah.
it was even Stevens at that point.
I wasn't the reason why we cost the race.
No, like Ashlie did not hold us up on that. If we were 4th and 5th with someone without the express pass, anyone else other than Corey and Rob, we would have been good.
We would have been top 3.
Good.
Or we would have been Final 4.
We would have been Final 4 for sure. For sure. So we move on and we go to the Opera House.
We get there. We find the entrance.
No problem whatsoever. Like,
I don't know why people were like,
right.
Going in the basement.
We finally watched the episode where like people are walking around the building and we're like, are you kidding me? This is the easiest thing to find. One of the things I'm very upset with. I'm very, very, very upset with.
Tell us your
Annalise and Steve, we're on the bus taking the wrong way to get there. Right? And who was it?
Okay.
Don't tell them, bro.
Rob and Corey, like, this is Final 5, and like
we help you out on the bridge. We help you out. Why did you help us out?
Did you have an alliance that we are unaware of? Because like Corey, in Slovenia, you refused to help Garrett, Joel, when you were doing the like wooden backpack walk, and you were like, listen, we're not helping anybody moving forward. This is it. And then come Sweden, you were like, hey, let me give Steve and Annalise all of the answers. Like, dude, if you would have just let them like make their own mistakes, like you would have not only probably come in first, you would have allowed us
to survive.
Thank you.
We would have survived.
Like, what is it? Are you helping people or are you not helping people? And by like people, I mean like, why didn't you help us?
You know what? Bro? You know what? But on the race, it's not about like helping people. It's about survival.
I question your judgment in that moment where what was different between Slovenia and you not helping Joel, but then like choosing to help Annalise and Steve in a Final 5.
And you U-turn them.
Like, what's the difference in that scenario? Like, why help now and not help then? I'm just curious.
So we go to recycle or recite. Recycle sounded like okay, right? Like the normal
up our
thing,
alley.
Right? Or recite was like a menu thing.
When we saw that it was like, when I saw the word Nobel Prize winner, I was like, that's not for us.
Negative.
Recycle or like Nobel Prize winner, we're gonna always do recycle.
And honestly, we did the recycle and it showed us like so fast.
I will say though, like it had this particular leg, and we've talked about this, was so linear that like there was nothing that like was too difficult. It was like get there, do the challenge, and go. But
the fact that everyone chose the easier route,
they knew what was
just by looking at it.
Yeah.
Just by looking at it, right?
I even mentioned, I was like, oh my gosh, maybe we still have a chance. And even Todd saw like the amount of like areas that were completed. And I think Todd at this point knew like kind of our swan song right now.
So people are giving Ashlie a hard time because she's like, oh man, we're out. Oh yeah, that's what I was like, hey, come back, baby, let's do it. I was trying to keep the spirits up. One thing to let you guys know, the reason why Ashlie was down, right? And the reason why I was so positive was because the fact that she was down, right? And what you didn't see in the past episodes is when I jacked up on our massage, I was extremely down and she was very positive, and they didn't show that. And so one thing I wanted to let everyone know, and that everyone that watches us on the show, is like, the thing is when Ashley's down, I'm up. When I'm down, she's up. Yeah. There's no possible way we could both be down because it would just be bad. Yeah. And so like we have a funny way in our relationship, in our marriage, in our family. Like if someone's down, we just naturally lift each other up. And I think that's what the true thing, the true secret of marriage is you gotta lift each other up when someone is down. Yeah. Right? If she's more down than me, I'm gonna like fake it till I make it, right? And be up. And so in that show when it said, hey, there's comeback, right? Everyone loves a comeback story. Let's go. The same disappointment you were feeling, I was feeling it just as bad. I just knew the state you were in, so I had to fake it till we make it. Yeah. So like, unfortunately, when that happens, the camera was on us and they chose to air it. we had the same exact situation in Thailand, but like they didn't show the show. They chose not to air it.
One, yeah.
Right? And so like I don't want anyone to think
and
that
like
she's negative.
At
She's
the end
not.
of the day, like
we're a team. We're one.
I understand that, but like we never pretended to be people that we're not. Like what you saw was our true self, and you saw throughout the entire race, you saw us at our happiest, at our lowest, at our most frustrated, at our most elated. Like that's what we were not fake at any point of the race. In that response, like when I told Todd, I was like, I'm happy that you're so positive, but I'm not there yet. Like there is something that like it takes me longer to process this.
Even then, I was like, I saw that she was down.
So devastated.
I saw that you were down. This has been
like one of my biggest dreams, and to know that like that pill of like knowing that we were leaving this race, it was such a hard pill for me to swallow. And I think like we can't both, like you mentioned, we can't both be in the same
like
emotional
if you weren't that down, I wouldn't have been that up.
True,
right?
100%.
And if I was the one down, you would have been the one up.
Yeah.
So that's just the way marriage works. And I know her, and that's what makes us so great. I think as a couple, as a husband and wife, as a father mother,
True.
right,
Yeah.
to our kids, and as a team. Like we know where each other are. I don't even need her to speak to know where she's at. Yeah. I could look at her face and be like, "Oh shoot, I better bring the positivity," or if I'm negative, she's like, "Oh shoot, I better like fake it till I make it." So like
100%.
That's the way we work and operate.
And I think that like that goes back to like the relationship aspect of like there's an aspect of sacrifice. Like I'm gonna sacrifice my feelings
right now
in this moment.
Like maybe later we'll fight about it. Mm-hmm. Like when I'm down, she's up. When she's down, I'm up. We can't be this and we can't be that.
But like not by nature. Like, oh, I naturally am up when you're down.
No.
It's
like
a choice.
It's a choice.
And that's what we talked about in our interview was like love is not just based off of a feeling. Like love is an action and it's a choice. Like I am choosing to ignore and ignore my natural inclination in this moment.
His name. Yeah, Joey. Joey hit the nail on the head.
Again, we grew up together. Like it wasn't like we found each other when we're adults. Like we started dating when we were still like children. So like we grew up together. We grew up and like learned how to like communicate in different ways that like if we would have met in our 30s or 40s, it would be different. And so again, we know so much about each other that like we give each other that grace when needed. And like I think that's what's helped us to get as far as we are.
Right. And so the truth is I love this woman. She's the most amazing woman I've ever been around. Obviously, I'm married to her. And she's one. We are one. We are one person. There's no Todd without Ashlie. There's no Ashlie without Todd.
Especially knowing our history and how long we've been together, like that is indicative of us. And so it's just like, I think when we realized that we were last, when we got to the mat, we had already known, and it was one of those things where there was a part of me that was hoping that like maybe Phil would say this was a non-elimination,
or
but that
like
wasn't
there's another team that like totally got
just
lost.
biffed it.
Yeah.
It wasn't the case. Everyone's so great, but I will say that like everything kind of came to a head for me in that moment where it was like I was just so genuinely happy that I was able to have this experience with you in the time, like I've said it before, like my favorite thing to do when people ask me, like, what's your favorite thing to do? Spending time with Todd. I will give anything to spend my time with Todd.
I ain't got no time.
He just doesn't have time. But like I truly, like my life, like I love this guy so incredibly much. Like I will legit start crying, but like I love spending time with you. Like you are my person, literally my everything. And like being able to have this opportunity to spend this adventure with you of a lifetime has been the greatest blessing I think that I could ever ask for.
Thank you for watching. We love you. Sorry we're out. Thank you for supporting us. Thank you for always caring for us. We wish we could have won. Trust me, we wish we could have won more than you wish we could have won.
But listen, what we've learned, like the experience that we had and shared together on this race, the $1 million would be great, but like what we were able to experience and share together far outweighs any monetary reward. I've had a blast. I will do it tomorrow. If they call me right now, I would drop everything and do it all over again because it's such a fun, beautiful adventure that you get to share. So.
It was the adventure of a lifetime. Wish it could have ended up with $1 million bucks, but it did not. But I have my wife by my side.
It just solidified how much we love each other, and
yeah, I love you, babe.
I love you. Mwah.
And for all the haters out there, right? We're still married. See us in the future on some of the recaps on